You are listening to the IBGR.network. IBGR is a call sign as a radio station, but we are more than a radio station. We are a network, and what a network we have. Nearly 40 people around the world in 4 different time zones given of their time and sharing their knowledge, their experience, some tips and tools to help you, the listener, get all the business information you need in 5 different platforms. 5 different platforms. I really confused myself there, to help you to get all that knowledge at different levels, so you can run your business more confidently and better and be successful wherever you are with whatever you've got at the moment. I am your host, Jan Robberts, Global Influencer. This is episode number 2 already, and it's a professional image for impact in our P1 People Lane, People Skills for Success. Again, a lot of P's there, at IBGR.network. Now, here I normally talk about, you can download your show notes. I said it right, Arthi, show notes. But as I mentioned, that if you had missed me earlier on, I admitted my mistake in this. I did my show notes this morning. Come on. I did the notes this morning, and instead of sending them somewhere, I deleted them, and I can't even find them. So I will redo them very shortly afterwards. So you will, sometime later today, you will have show notes to download from this show should you want them. But don't let that stop you going to the network and, listen in, join us and listen in to all the wonderful podcasts from the season so far. There is a plethora, oh my, that's a big word on a Thursday morning, a plethora of information there that you can listen into, that you can learn from, and that will be helpful, if not just to you, to somebody you know. So share this with your friends. On Facebook they would say like and share, but share this with other people you know are at different stages of their entrepreneurship, who could use some of that information, whether it's here on the people side or operations, customers, finance, or the executive side, which is tomorrow. So there we've covered all 5 of them, because the people side is today. But we're going to carry on, and we are on the last point here, point number 7, which I mentioned at the very beginning, should you have missed it, is the 10 characteristics of professionalism. Now, with the proliferation, oh my God, did I do that? Proliferation? Yeah, I did. With the proliferation of small businesses, a one-man band and the relaxation of business formalities, a professional edge is now only really evident in the upper echelons of corporate business. But being professional is all about having strong skills and competence in your chosen field. There is a certain obvious expectation that you would have the experience and qualification to deliver your product and service. But this alone is not enough to earn the respect of your customers. So professionalism is also about the qualities and behaviors you exhibit and the manner in which you conduct yourself during your business affairs. I hope that makes sense, people. It certainly makes a lot of sense to me. That's why I added it. True professionals possess a number of important characteristics that can apply to virtually any type of business. Any type of business, people. So they are not in any order of importance. Appearance. Professionals need an appearance. I will talk into that. Demeanor, reliability, competence, ethics, maintaining your poise, phone, there's the word again, etiquette, phone etiquette, written correspondence, accountability, and organized skills. And what I will do in the short time we have left, I will go through all of these briefly to give you some insight. Now, appearance, we've already really been through that. The professional is neat in appearance. Be sure to meet or even exceed the requirements of your company's dress code, and pay special attention to your appearance when meeting with prospects or clients, and take your cue from the way they dress. So I hope that makes some sense. Now, that doesn't mean if they dress down that you need to dress down. It is always great to be one step above. And that's not being arrogant. No, that's just showing even more professional than they expect, as it says in here. I hope that makes sense. Then your demeanor. Your demeanor should reflect confidence, but not cockiness. See, I just started talking into that already, but be polite and well-spoken, whether you're interacting with customers, superiors, co-workers, or even partners, the bank manager. Just because you're an expert in a field does not earn you the right to treat your customers like ignorant idiots. I hope that makes sense. But on the other end of the spectrum, of course, just because you're warm and friendly person does not mean you can call your new customers like, hey buddy, sweetie, and all that kind of stuff. We need to remain professional. Then, of course, reliability is another key characteristic. As a professional, you will be counted on to find a way to get the job done when you say that then in the manner that you said you were going to do that. So responding to people promptly and following through on promises in a timely manner is also important, as this demonstrates reliability. It's about meeting expectations which require effective communication skills. Never assume that that everything is right. Clarify everything, especially when things change, to make sure you are always on the same page as your customer and to eliminate nasty surprises, because we know good news travels, but bad news travels much faster. And how do you want people to advertise you? Then we have competence. Professionals strive to become experts in their field, which set them apart from the rest of the pack. This can mean continuing your education by taking courses, attending seminars, and attaining any related professional designations. Ethics. Professionals such as doctors, lawyers, and public accountants must adhere to a strict code of ethics. But even if your company or industry doesn't have a written code, you should display ethical behavior at all times. Now that's got to be clear. Maintaining your poise. A professional must maintain his poise even when facing a difficult situation. When you are challenged or questioned, you need to be able to state your case in a calm and structured manner and keep it factual, clean, and to the point. This is where people with high emotional intelligence gain the most respect. That's a whole different subject, and I know people are already talking about it in this people lane. There is nothing like losing your cool or airing personal emotional baggage in a tense situation to destroy your integrity, credibility, and reputation. Yes, and there's more. Come here, there's more. Phone etiquette. Your phone etiquette is also an important component of your professional behavior. This means identifying yourself by your full name, company, and title when you place a call. Be sure not to dominate the conversation and listen intently to the other party. And try to smile on the phone, because people will hear that. Written correspondence, I mentioned that already. During this written or email correspondence, keep your letters brief and to the point. Your tone should be polite and formal without being stuffy. Remember that your written correspondence is a paper trail and record of your transactions with your clients. So take care of what you say and how you say it, even when you write it. Use your spell checker, because that's also something professional, of course, that is not full of all kinds of silly mistakes. And remember email etiquette. Never ever write in capital letters, because that means that you would be shouting. Never mind how frustrated you are. And I admit I've done this, but I've also looked at the email afterwards and said, okay, don't send this, Jan. Look it over it, and I change them, of course. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, that is not always something that we really think about. But all this only has an effect on your character, not theirs, of course. Organizational skills. Professional can quickly and easily find what is needed. Your work area should be neat and organized, and your briefcase should contain only what is needed for your appointment and presentations. That you don't have your sandwiches in there and everything else that you don't need, the toys of the children and all that kind of stuff. So, be organized. And accountability is also something that really speaks in. Professionals are accountable for their actions at all times. And whether you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, or a large business owner, you need to be accountable for your actions. I sometimes call it blame storming. People always find blame of other people, but look in the mirror first. What could I have done better? What should I learn from the situation? And how can I take responsibility for what happened, even if it might not be your fault? But if you make a mistake, own up to it and try to fix it if possible. Don't try to place the blame on a colleague or somebody else. If your company made a mistake, take responsibility and work to resolve the issue. Sometimes a compromise might be necessary, but you take it on the chin, learn from it, and move on. Somewhere you need to apologize and all this kind of stuff, but use an unfortunate opportunity to gain more respect from the way you handle a mistake or an oversight than if you had not made the mistake at all. I hope that also makes sense. So, we have, and also remember that your customers are not mates. They are not your siblings or your punch bags. These are the very people that provide your income in your business, which pays your salary. I hope that makes sense. So here we are. These are, and there's plenty more points, but I hope you got a bit more of an overview how to be professional in your business, and how you can make a positive impact in your business. If you're going to be impactful, like I'm talking about all the time, and if you're going to have proper influence, you need to follow through on some of these things. So I hope that helps. So what's coming up next? Well, we have more exciting shows coming up today from amazing hosts from this primetime region, starting with Tina Ogbugo from Nigeria, then my partner Arthur Moore from South Africa, and Sadia Kebi from Lebanon. Truly international, intercontinental group. So, stay with us. And then also, of course, whether you're what I can do for you, whether you're a CEO or a large corporation or a small business owner, whether you're running your local business group or sports club, whether you're an mompreneur or someone wanting to intentionally grow and reach your God-given potential, I can certainly help you. And I will assist you in your organization to discover the challenges in leadership and communication and discuss effective global and local solutions. So, my services include coaching, training, facilitation, and energetic keynotes. You can find me at www.Key Leadership Institute or www.JR Speakers Club, or you can find all my details, of course, on the ibgr.network. Now, you have been listening to ibgr.network, the international business growth radio network. I am your host, Jan Robberts, and I look forward to be with you at the same time, same place next week. Just remember, you are amazing. See you next week.